If you're a parent, this is a scenario that might be super frustrating and maybe a little too familiar. Something happens at school. Your kid gets assaulted or there's a bullying incident, and you know for a fact there are cameras everywhere. So you go to the principal, you ask to see the video, and you get hit with this firm legal-sounding wall. And there it is, that one word, FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. It sounds so official, doesn't it? It sounds final. It's the wall that administrators love to put up, and it leaves parents feeling totally powerless, without the one piece of evidence that could show what really happened to their child. So here's the big question, right? Is the school actually following federal law by hiding that video from you? Or are they just using a legal-sounding excuse to hide something else? Well, in this explainer, we are going to completely dismantle that argument and give you the tools you need to get to the truth. Let's get into it. All right, so first, let's talk about this excuse itself. The whole claim that FERPA prevents a school from showing you surveillance footage, it's probably one of the most common and frankly most effective tactics they use to just shut down a parent's questions. But here's the thing, it is built on an incredibly shaky foundation. This is the core of their strategy, right here. Schools are basically betting on the fact that most parents aren't lawyers who specialize in federal education law. They throw the word FERPA out there like it's some kind of magic shield because they know it sounds intimidating enough that most people will just give up and walk away. So let's actually break this down. Let's look at what the law really says versus what schools often claim it says, because you know what? This is where their entire excuse just begins to completely fall apart. And when you look at it side by side, it's really night and day. FERPA was designed to protect very specific things: official education records. We're talking grades, discipline files, IEPs, but schools will often try to stretch that definition to cover things like general surveillance footage. As you can see, they are just not the same thing, not even close. And look, the law is super specific about this. For something to count as an education record that's protected by FERPA, it has to meet two conditions. It must be, 1, directly related to a student, and 2, it has to be maintained by the school. A general security camera that's just recording a busy hallway, that's not directly related to any one student. It's a security tool, plain and simple. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This comes straight from the top. The U.S. Department of Education, the actual people in charge of FERPA, has said over and over again that surveillance footage is generally not an education record. The only time it might become one is if the school takes a clip from that video and specifically puts it into a student's discipline file. Okay, so you've got this knowledge now. What do you actually do with it? It's one thing to know you're not going to be stonewalled, but it's another thing to have a clear plan. So let's get to your playbook for either forcing them to show you the video or proving they're trying to suppress evidence. Now, even if, and that's a big if, the school has a legit privacy concern about other kids in the video, that absolutely does not give them the right to just say no. The law, and just common sense, says they should offer you other options. You can ask to see the video with other kids' faces blurred out, or maybe you can watch it in the principal's office without taking a copy. They could even give you a detailed written description or some still images. This protocol right here shows you the way forward. You start with a formal request in writing. If they refuse, you don't argue, you just proactively offer those alternatives we just talked about. If they still say no, that's when you demand that they tell you, in writing, the specific law they think allows them to refuse. From there, you can appeal to the district, and if you have to, take legal action. Every single step creates a paper trail of their refusal. Which brings us to the real question, doesn't it? If FERPA isn't the real reason, then what are schools actually protecting when they won't show you the video? I can tell you, it is rarely about another student's privacy. The number one reason, and this is probably the biggest one, the video tells a completely different story. The school might have written up the incident as mutual combat, but that video, it could clearly show that your child was attacked without any provocation. That footage is objective proof that their official story is a lie. A lot of the time, the footage shows that the staff messed up, big time. It might show a teacher standing in the background who saw the whole thing and did absolutely nothing. Or it could prove a hallway was completely unsupervised. That creates liability for the school, so hiding the video is really about hiding their own failure. And the third big reason? The video proves you were right all along. You might have been telling the school for weeks that your child was being targeted, and they just kept saying, well, we have no record of that. That camera footage can destroy that defense. It can show a clear pattern of bullying that the school absolutely should have known about. So how do we take all this information and turn it into actual power? This is the moment where you stop being a victim of the system and start becoming a strategic, effective advocate for your child. One of the most powerful things you can do is just write it all down. Seriously, create a simple tracker like this one. Log every single request, every response you get, and every time the school refuses to give you a legal reason. This isn't just for your own notes. This log becomes a formal record of them suppressing evidence. And what this does, it's a total game changer. By following these steps, you flip the entire script. You're no longer just a parent who's passively asking for help. You are now a proactive advocate who is building a case, controlling the evidence, and showing them you know the law better than they ever hoped you would. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one simple, powerful question. When a school flat out refuses to give you any access to video evidence, you now have the knowledge and the tools to challenge them. Are they really protecting privacy, or are they just hiding the truth? Now you know exactly how to find out.